7:34. Don't let me get ahead an entire hour.
Not 8 o'clock just yet.
I'm getting lost in this timeline here. I'm traveling the entire state of North Carolina with a new friend here, North Carolina Kerry, who joins us this morning. How are you, sir?
Doing well, man. Morning, y'all.
Good to see you.
All right, so as far as North Carolina goes, do you live in your favorite place in North Carolina, or are you just passing through where you're at right now?
I do not live in my favorite place in North Carolina now.
What's your favorite town? Yeah, what's your favorite town in North Carolina right now?
It's hard. I love like the mountains and the beach. My wife's family's from Maggie Valley, and I actually just spent the weekend there with them, and I love it up there. And once upon a time, there was a potential of us eventually living there, but now we're thinking our parents might move more towards us, so that might not happen, which would be awesome. But I'm also a huge beach guy, so I don't know. I'd probably the mountains, I'd say. Right now, I'm in the Triangle area, which I love too, but you know, the views of the mountains are just kind of unbeatable.
Yeah.
Kerry, we haven't really met yet. You know Mames more than you know me. I know a lot about pop culture. I stay on it.
He is the top signal. For
I stay on it all the
I knew
time.
it the second I saw you, man. I was like, this guy,
Look,
something about him.
I wear my grays still. You know what I mean? I'm on it. I'm on it. I saw recently that Kanye was going through a whole thing to change his name. Are you considering changing your name to North Carolina? That seems like that would be a little complicated, though I think I would support you in that effort if you were going for it.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I'd be lying if I said it hadn't crossed my mind. But now with your support, I might just go for it, you know? I might just like go all the way. I don't want to, but just to be clear, I'm not going to model it after Kanye. It'll be a completely independent thing.
Safe clarification there.
Stay safe.
All right. So how did North Carolina Kerry start? Give us your origin story.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love a good origin story. I started at the Museum of History in 2016. It was like right after proposing to my wife. And at first, I was the social media guy and the website guy, but we didn't have like a TikTok or Instagram presence. I would do videos, but I was always the one behind the camera and never in front of it. And then when we saw other really awesome groups like Old Salem blowing up on TikTok, we were like, hey, maybe we could get into this space, and maybe there doesn't have to be this big like disconnect between state government, history museums, and TikTok like there kind of was. So there was a lot of red tape to go over. There was a lot of conversations about it for probably like up to a year, because they were like, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. But I kind of just kept pushing. I was like, we really should do this. And I wasn't even intentionally trying to be the one in front of the camera, but it just kind of worked out that way. And I ended up loving it. And after I got a new job, after our first son was born, I kind of still had like this like itching to do what I had been doing, because there was such an awesome community built there. So I just kind of one day told my wife, I was like, I think I'm going to make my own account just for fun when I have time to do it, you know, having like a little kid and a full-time job. And it just kind of grew into North Carolina Kerry, and I haven't looked back, and it's super duper fun.
So you're primarily both on Instagram and TikTok. Is that right, as far as the two major platforms that you work under North Carolina Kerry under?
That's right. Yeah, that's right, man.
Which do you like between the two more? Like where are you at, like from platform perspective? What do you like? Which one more?
Instagram is definitely more engaging and has grown a lot faster. I'll admit, like, I'm not always good about following like trends like on TikTok. Like that's just kind of not my thing. I sort of do my own thing, whether it's like skits or telling history. But yeah, I'll usually just post the same stuff to both channels, to be honest with you. And TikTok sometimes will, you know, be decent response, but not a lot of like growth and just like the overall following. Whereas Instagram just kind of been this like linear path. So I think I'd prefer Instagram over TikTok at this point.
And so North Carolina Kerry, are you running around eating a bunch of burritos, or like what if someone's not been to your profile or they go to your profile, what should they expect, and what do you want that experience for them to be like?
Yeah, I mean, a huge part of it is the burritos, I'd say. But besides that, there's also like skits just about like North Carolina. I kind of like to poke fun at sort of the things that we as North Carolinians just expect to be normal, I guess. And then when people visit sometimes, they're like, you know, this is different than what I grew up with, like the pronunciation of states or the way we joke about, you know, Cherie Berry in the elevator, like, and not trusting anybody else that takes over her mantle, even though she's been gone for years now. Or just making fun of, you know, the difference between South Carolina highways and North Carolina highways. I'll do like a video series, kind of like a bit at this point, where I'll have like the phone shaking when I go over the South Carolina border, and then once I get back to North Carolina, it's just like smooth
It's so
sailing.
real too, though. I think that's what makes it fun is that it's relatable. One of my favorite series you do is how to pronounce tricky North Carolina towns because I do the same with Lake Norman memes about how to pronounce airs around here, like people who pronounce Iredell, Iredell, or Concord, or something like that. That's one of my favorite things. So, what are the most mispronounced towns that you think around North Carolina?
I think Kanita is a big one.
I don't even know where that
it's
is. I don't even.
it's spelled like Conto. Like there's just no reason why it should be pronounced the way it is.
Yeah.
And I think there's always the Beaufort dilemma of like, am I saying it in South Carolina or North Carolina? I'm probably messing this up in my head, and I still sometimes do that internally. I have to kind of like, because I've been to both places many times, and I'm like,
we do
where
it
am I
wrong
right
here
now?
all the
You know what
time.
I
I
mean?
think it's a constant debate.
Yeah,
here
Mamie
too.
does it wrong all the
I
time,
have
Kerry.
no idea. Yeah, I'm always. We still don't know.
What is the answer? Just for Mamie's
For my sake,
what
thank
is
you.
what is the answer?
So it's Beaufort for north and Beaufort for south, but it's spelled the exact same way. And yeah, it's just interesting the way it's pronounced differently, even though it's the exact same word essentially.
Now you've seen a lot of North Carolinians, and Kerry, you've seen a lot more probably areas than I have around North Carolina. But I have seen some reality TV shows, and I feel like every time that they have someone from North Carolina on there, it's about the most ratchet person from wherever in North Carolina that it can be. In your travels, do you think that that's an accurate assessment? Is reality TV representing North Carolina well right now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think wasn't Love Is Blind in Charlotte one
It
year?
was
I think.
Charlotte and Lake Norman, a couple seasons ago, yeah, they did,
Yeah.
but the places that they chose to go were just not the coolest places around town either. So
No, they were not. No, I don't think North Carolina is always represented well in the media. I actually saw this video recently of this guy who's just claimed he's from North Carolina, and these people were trying to ask him about like if he liked one country over the other, and they got kind of like political with it. And he had the most like Boston accent ever, and he's like, I can't do Boston accents. I'm not going to attempt to. But he's like, yeah, I'm from North Carolina. That's not a good accent. But it was just funny because I was like, that dude is clearly not from here.
well, now with all the people moving here, it wouldn't be out of
Yeah.
range for someone to be from North Carolina and have a Boston accent. I'll say, Carrie, my other thing that you did recently was the different chicken biscuits from the different restaurants around. That's one I think you would have aced, pal, for sure.
I could talk chicken biscuits with you all day.
Yeah, it
Kerry,
was
if you
what
want to, for
Bojangles,
sure.
Hardee's, and Biscuitville.
Okay.
Yeah, and shockingly, everyone got Bojangles.
I know,
Like,
but
everyone
I
was-
knew Bojangles. Yeah,
But like a ton of people were super duper confident about Biscuitville versus Hardee's, and so many people got it wrong.
yeah.
Like a lot of people like very like they like said it with their chest too. They're just like, ooh, that's definitely Biscuitville, and it's like it's not.
Do you get into the barbecue wars at all? Like that kid? Do you do any of that kind of stuff?
I do just for like content's sake, just because I know it's just something that's hilarious to me. Because to be honest with you, I love both, and I know that's like a controversial hot take. I don't love South Carolina barbecue. Like I'm being honest when I make fun of. I realize I make fun of South Carolina a decent bit as I'm talking about this. But yeah, when it comes
we
to
won't tell him.
Lexington
No,
versus
yeah.
Eastern-
We won't tell him.
We're
Kerry,
okay with
don't
that
worry.
too, actually.
Cool. I'm in good company.
Yes.
But no, when it comes to Lexington versus Eastern, I think I do prefer Lexington, but I'm not so intense like I won't even like touch Eastern, where some people who were like into one or the other like get really riled up about it. I actually did a thing where I had ChatGPT do the Trump versus Elon battle, but make it Lexington versus Eastern barbecue, and they did like a whole entire like 5-round like duke out to see who would win, and they went, no one actually won. They were like, it's up to you who's the winner. So I was like, all right, ChatGPT.
We just all know
I'll
that
be
South
safe.
Carolina mustard barbecue is not it. We can all agree on that one for sure.
I kind of like to
think
put them
so.
all three together and then sit with somebody who just can't stand one of them and
Yeah.
just eat the whole thing together. That's usually my
Just
move.
serve it to them without them knowing what they're
That's-
getting
that's
beforehand.
What they're
exactly
doing,
right.
yeah, absolutely.
He's North Carolina Kerry. You can find him on TikTok. You can find him on Instagram, having fun around the wonderful state of North Carolina. Hey, thanks for bringing a lot of attention to North Carolina and keeping these people moving here all day, Kerry. We really
Oh, dude,
appreciate that.
So many people in the comments will say that's such a common response. They're just like, we're full, stop it. I'm like, sorry.
It was nice to meet you, Kerry. Thanks for
Yeah,
hanging out with us
thank
this
you.
morning.
I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
You too. Check him out, North Carolina Kerry. Check him out online.